Hi all, if you have any more questions, feel free to please post them in the group chat and we'll get to them. We still have some time left. We got a few questions already. So one of them, someone was asking how we came up with a name for recipes. Why not call them something like macros, just instruction booklet? Well, recipes are similar to macros in the sense that they're a list of instructions, but recipes are specifically the sort of modular analyses that make up a larger biological project. And in the same way that you have recipes in molecular biology or molecular analyses, we're trying to put together a compendium of recipes for bioinformatics analyses. And so we also, so it's not just, so we're trying to ensure that a lot of our analyses, our recipes, are just as focused on biological understanding, on figuring out what you can gain from analysis biologically, and it's just as focused on that as on sort of specific computational mechanics of executing a recipe. I should again mention that this whole presentation will be made available after the after today's, so look out for that. We'll make sure people are appraised of that. Another question that came up was, what is the GCT format? So yes, we did sort of gloss over some of these formats, but different tool platforms might have different sort of formats and guidelines. But the GCT format is a gene pattern format, which is recognized by other tool platforms, though. But it originated, I believe, in the gene pattern platform, and it's essentially an expression file. It represents array-based data, or can even in this day and age can represent sort of count data from RNA-seq analyses. So something from, and so you have, so with in the rows of a GCT file, you'll have genes or transcripts or probes, and columns of samples, and the elements will be some sort of expression value. Anyhow, you can find out more about these at a link that I'm about to post in the chat box. So feel free to look there and see what other formats are available through gene pattern or other formats that people will often use. So let's see what other questions have come through. As I mentioned, the webinar will be posted later, so if any of you are looking for specific URLs and whatnot, those will be made available through there. We are always looking to add more tools. So someone's asking, what other tools will GenomeSpace add in the near future? Currently, we don't always like to publicize too early in case we in case certain things fall through, but we are hoping to put through a Trinity instance at Indiana University, Sarah? A Trinity instance. It's Trinity running on a Galaxy server instance at Indiana University. So Trinity is a very powerful sort of de novo alignment tool that some of you might have heard of or used before, but requires a pretty powerful set of computational has a very large computational need, and so it's hosted over at Indiana, and we're hopefully going to be able to connect that to GenomeSpace very, very soon. There's no someone's asking, is there any requirement for institutional mail ID to register as GenomeSpace? No, there's not. You can register with your own Gmail or Hotmail or whatever mail address you use. We just ask that you provide an email address so that we can stay in contact with you regarding your storage and whatnot, if need be. Another question, how do we ensure that recipes work after future updates to external tools such as Galaxy, etc.? We are very committed to replicability in computational science. However, we do recognize that there are these sort of difficulties with managing so many different tools and sort of groups. But I will mention that we are in very close contact with many of these tools, Galaxy, Gene Pattern, IGV, Cytoscape. These are essentially our collaborators, and so we do whenever we find things that are starting to fall out of that scope of replicability, things that are if we see that things are becoming somewhat lagging behind because of updates and whatnot, we'll always try to keep up and fix those. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Sarah.
Yeah, we will definitely try to keep the screenshots, videos, things like that updated. If something is out of date or doesn't work, please comment on the recipe or email us directly. You can email gs-recipes@broadinstitute.org or gs-info@broadinstitute.org, and we'll be happy to update recipes if we don't catch them before you do.
Great. We have another question asking how we imagine GenomeSpace growing or sort of evolving in the future. I'm assuming that's asking about how GenomeSpace will evolve rather than how GenomeSpace could be used to study evolution. But we are hoping that to really not just add more recipes, but sort of grow our user base and make sure that all of you who are here today feel just as strongly about GenomeSpace as we all do, and will feel motivated to publish your own recipes, sort of provide an analytic expertise and sort of learning and know-how to everyone. And that this is in large part why we are offering this webinar. We're hoping to get to know all of you a little bit better, and hoping that you all can get a better sense of what we're thinking about GenomeSpace. Sarah, I don't know if you have anything to add to that. No? Okay, moving on. How much sort of personal? How much can a question asking how much can we as a sort of the user change options and parameters and settings in analyses? That's completely possible. Recipes are there to sort of give you a specific biological case where this recipe is useful, but most of our recipes, if not all of them, can be applied in lots of different biological contexts, and of course then parameters and settings will be different depending on your specific needs and your specific analyses. So what we're trying to do is provide sort of a jumping off point. And while in our recipes we say set this parameter to this and whatnot, we do expect that if you start going off and instead of using our sort of little example sort of toy data sets, that you'll go and really attack them with your own analytical sort of prowess and change things and whatnot as you need to. So that's completely, we're not trying to lock people in there. Up to what extent can we upload data? So what's the sort of storage limit when it comes to GenomeSpace? So GenomeSpace, we offer 30 gigabytes of Amazon S3 storage. That's sort of a soft limit. We won't get too mad at. Well, we will ask you to sort of tone it down if you are going over 30 gigabytes. But if you have a specific project that you are working on that might need larger sort of a larger database to draw from, feel free to reach out to us at GS Help. We will always be willing to work with individual research teams in helping to manage their data resource needs. Also, I should mention that again that we have that you can connect your own storage solution. So either Dropbox, Google Drive, or your own Amazon S3 sort of buckets, Amazon storage. All three of those can be connected directly to GenomeSpace, and they can be accessed through the GenomeSpace interface the same way as sort of the default provided storage, and it doesn't count towards your quota. So if you have 100 gigabytes of Dropbox storage, hook it up there, you're now at 130 total. Is GenomeSpace cluster-based? What's the mechanism for users waiting for their jobs to be processed? This is a bit of a tricky question, so I guess I should emphasize again that GenomeSpace itself doesn't necessarily do too much in the way of its own analyses. What we're trying to do is provide a strong yet smooth connection between lots of these other tools. So these other tools will have their own sort of analytic workhorses sitting behind them. I know GenePattern and Galaxy both work off of sort of a cluster-based system, but you'll have to check with the specific tools themselves. Can GenomeSpace tools be used from outside the US? I believe most of them can be. I don't want to go overboard and say that they all can, but from what I've seen, most of our tools, if not all of them, can be used from outside the US. Again, things might be idiosyncratic, specifically with each tool. Another question, will the next webinar cover different aspects of GenomeSpace? Oh yes, definitely. This was definitely round number 1, and so hopefully for our next few webinars, which we'll hopefully try to do on a very regular basis, we'll try to cover other aspects of GenomeSpace, try to give you guys a bigger sort of view, or sort of more diverse view of what GenomeSpace can do and what we're working on within GenomeSpace. And so if you have, and also if you have specific things that you want to see in the next webinar, feel free to either email us at gshelp@broadinstitute.org, or we will hopefully be sending out sort of an exit survey later, perhaps tomorrow. So feel free to send us comments through there as well. Another question, does GenomeSpace provide additional services for next generation sequence analysis beyond Galaxy? So, well, as I mentioned, we'll hopefully have that Trinity instance, which is again powered by Galaxy, but online soon. So that will be another place to go for NGS, next generation sequencing analysis. We also offer Systrome, but again, that is also again powered through Galaxy. Galaxy is kind of becoming, in many ways, a very popular way to offer up these sorts of NGS tools. Sarah, am I missing anything specifically?
It really depends on the tool. So one of the ways that you can find out what we have to offer, I'll go back to genomespace.org, and under this tools section, this is a list of all the different tools we have to offer, and also list the different sort of analysis processes that you can do with these. So there are different tools that are available for next generation sequencing. All of our current tools are listed here. If you have any, this is a little bit too zoomed in. If you have any suggestions for a tool or something like that, you can email us and let us know, and depending on what the user base is, we can consider connecting it to GenomeSpace. But right now, this is what we have available. So there are different non-Galaxy-based analysis tools.
I should also mention that GenePattern also has next generation sequencing analysis tools. And also, in terms of if you're trying to do next generation sequencing work, you definitely want to start using some sort of Genome Browser, something like IGV, which is a GenomeSpace enabled tool. And if you're looking at your band files or your alignments and whatnot, IGV is a great way to sort of trawl through your data. I should also mention, to that point, another point that we kind of glossed over is that you can add, you can connect your own tool as a private tool without us having to offer it through our sort of central server or through our central sort of serving point. So you can add a private local tool of your own, and there is documentation up on the website to help you do that. And I don't want to get too much into that now, but that is another available option, and you can definitely make that happen. And feel free to contact us again if you have any problems in attempting to do that. Question: can you do microRNA-seq analysis? Well, generally, I guess the answer is you can do what the various tools available allow you to do. And I personally am not an expert in microRNA sequencing or working with microRNAs. But if I were to bet, I'm sure there would be there are tools and modules that are available within some of the different analysis tools within GenomeSpace that would help you go about doing your microRNA sequencing. If that's something you really want to, and haven't found yet within GenomeSpace, again, let us know, and we'll definitely try to. And if this is something you really think is something that would benefit the community, please let us know, and we'll definitely try to work at including more of that.
Also, if you have any ideas for recipes, if you know that your group does a particular type of analysis fairly regularly, or you read a great paper that had a very common bioinformatic analysis associated with it, please let us know. We would be happy to go through that workflow and develop a recipe out of it.
Well, chatter is quiet on the chat box right now.
So just as a last note, the webinar has been recorded, so we'll do some processing on that and we'll upload that to the website, and we will also take the questions from the chat and write answers to them and also have that archived and uploaded along with the webinar video itself, just to make sure that we have all the bases covered and all of your questions answered. And we'll also be planning to have more webinars. We haven't scheduled the next one yet, but we would like to do them fairly regularly on a variety of different topics. So if there's a lot of interest in a particular recipe, we'll walk through that with everyone live during a webinar. If you know, if there's some other aspect of GenomeSpace that people are interested in, like how to add their own tools to the tool catalog, we can also walk through that. And in addition, we have office hours as well that are posted on our calendar. So please check the calendar, and we'll post the new upcoming webinars. We'll also post the archives of the different webinar recordings and the different chat question recordings, and then also information about the upcoming webinars and the upcoming office hours. So we'll stay here for another couple of minutes if people want to keep asking questions.
I just saw a question that I somewhat, well, a couple of other questions that have popped up. So what version of Java will I need in using GenomeSpace? We do recommend the most up-to-date Java version, so I believe that's currently 8, Java version 8. And I think you'll find that for most tools nowadays. Everyone's trying to stay up to date with Java. Again, sort of, I'm going to circle back to that microRNA question. I just checked with some other members of our team, and it seems that yes, that Galaxy and gene pattern both include methods that can handle various microRNA-seq analyses. So I'm not an expert, but I definitely suggest you go check those out and see what you find and if those sort of meet your needs. I should again mention that I'm going to back up to the Java thing again, but I forgot to mention that web-based tools will not usually, if at all, require Java. So Java is mainly for desktop-based tools, things like IGV. But there, yes, Java version 8. Question on which tools can be used for QTL analysis. QTL analysis is not something we have, at least we don't have many recipes up yet on QTL analysis. That's something we're really looking to start including more of. I believe Galaxy has some QTL analysis. Maybe I might be misremembering, but again, we can definitely that's definitely on our horizon, on our sort of in our playbook. So so keep an eye out for that, everyone.
There's also a question about, will I need to install a specific version of R? GenomeSpace does not require R to run. So GenomeSpace is available on the internet, and a lot of the tools that are connected to GenomeSpace are also available on the internet. And so there's no requirement to download R or any other software other than making sure that you have an up-to-date version of Java.
Oh, thanks for catching.
So again, if you have any, for those of you who are interested in specific types of analyses, such as the microRNA analysis or doing QTL analysis, if you could contact us with some suggestions about, for example, if there's a gold standard paper in that field that you think we should read to be familiar with that type of analysis, or if you know someone who is very good at that analysis and would be willing to work with us on developing a recipe to share with everyone else, you can definitely bring that to our attention. And in addition, again, we welcome and encourage people to submit their own recipes. Once you have submitted a recipe to the recipe resource and had that reviewed, it is also possible to then follow up and submit that to our Faculty of 1000 paper channel. And so that channel will actually allow you to publish these recipes in a slightly more formal format, allowing you to actually cite them as well. So if you know that your lab does a particular analysis fairly commonly, please submit that as a recipe to the recipe resource, and then we can help you develop a F1000 paper out of that.
One final question, I guess, before we close. So a question asking, is there a module or recipe for cross-species analysis, for example, converting GCT files between human and mouse? I will, while there's no recipe up there yet, that is perhaps a great idea for a potential recipe. Using one of the tools that that is available in the GenomeSpace family is the UCSC table browser, and through UCSC table browser you can find overlaps between different species, different sort of orthologous genes and whatnot. And so using that and a couple of tools from Gene Pattern and Galaxy, I can very easily envision a sort of a quick recipe for converting between mouse and human genes or orthologs and whatnot. So thank you all so much. I think we'll be finishing up here pretty soon. But thank you all for attending and for giving us such great feedback and having such great questions. We definitely enjoyed doing this. I know I did.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And again, if you have any more questions, comments, ideas, please let us know. You can contact us at gs-recipes@broadinstitute.org.